Welcome back, Jebel Ali. In this tutorial we're going to create our very first app using Thunkable. Now as you can see, I've got a few apps created on here, and my app I'm working on is my Joke Me app, and I can view my Joke Me app and test it by clicking on the play button here. If you've downloaded the Thunkable app onto your phone, you will be able to view your working app on your phone. So when I press play here, mine at this stage is being demonstrated on my web browser. Again, it's opening my home screen, and when I click on my button here,
and goes up and down.
it asks a joke, and when I click on the answer button, which is right next to it,
Pee in a lift.
you get the answer to my first lovely joke. And I'm going to, obviously it looks a little bit sparse at the moment, it's only got one working joke, but hopefully I will create an app with a number of jokes that you can play and listen to the answer. Okay, so I'm going to click the X there, and I'm going to click on the plus sign here to create a new app. And the very first thing I'm going to do is give my app a name. So my name is going to be Joke Me App. I'm going to call this one V2 for version 2. Okay, once I've done that, I click on the blue button create, and that will open my Thunkable in the Thunkable interface. Now as you can see here, you've got the components section down here under the design tab, and you've also got the blocks tab here, and when you click on that, you'll see that it's got a number of blocks that you can drag onto the block area here, a bit like Scratch. But we'll look at the coding and the creating of the part the app that works later on, but at the moment we're going to click on the design tab here. As you can see here, you've got your screen, and this is where you drag on the different components and create your app interface, and these are the different settings for your different components that you're going to add onto here. Okay, so the very first thing I'm going to do is make sure I've clicked on screen 1, and I'm going to rename my screen. To rename your screen, you just move over here to the settings and click on the rename button here, and I'm going to call it Joke Me App Home. That's the Joke Me App home page. So when I click away, you'll see that it creates a name for my home page. It's important that you name them properly. Now next I'm going to change the color of my home screen, and you do that very simply. Again, it's always down here where you change the settings, and I'm going to click here under where it says background color, and using this slider here I'm going to choose a nice purple. Okay, so there's your color picker. Choose the color and it will transform your home page with a color. So there's my purple color, and what I'm going to do next is show you how you align items on your home page in this case, because you can't really drag items around here. You can just basically tell them where to sit on your home page, your home screen. So I'm going to go down here, I'm going to go to the vertical alignment, because I'm going to add a label, and my label is going to contain my title for my app at the top here, but I need to make sure it is aligned at the top, and the way you do that is here under where it says vertical alignment. At the moment it's set to center, and I want it to go to the top, and you'll see that the name automatically goes up here. And now any component that I add to my home page will be vertically aligned to the top. So what I'm going to add first is a row component, and a row component is going to be used to kind of display other components. So let's do it. So kind of for organizing things. So I'm going on my add component section here on the left, and I'm going to drag on my row. Now if I drag and drop it onto my home page, you'll see that it says row 1 in the middle, and basically the row is taking up the whole of my home page, my home screen. So I need to reduce the height of my row. So you'll notice as you add these components here, they'll be shown on the left hand side underneath the design tab here. So my row 1, if I want, I could delete it by clicking here, but what I want to do is change the height. So on the right hand side here, you will see that you have blue highlight. Row means I'm editing it, and I want to change the height. Now what I want to do is change it to 100 pixels. So I choose from the drop down list absolute size. Can you see what I did there? I chose absolute size, and then here it gives me a box, and I'm going to type in there 100. Okay, and you'll see now that it's changed the height of my row to 100 pixels. You can see now it's got a red dotted line around the outside showing that row. And now I want to add another row to contain my 2 buttons. So again, I'm going to go down to row. I'm going to drag a new row, and you'll see now that that new row takes up the rest of the space and has gone above my row 1, and I can change that position by dragging the row 2 below row 1. You see row 1 is here, and now row 2 is here, and I'm going to now change the height of row 2. So on the right hand side, I go to my height again, I go to absolute size, and I'm going to change it to 100 pixels. So now I've got row 1 and row 2. Now my first row 1 is going to store my title. So on the left hand side, under my component section here, add components, I'm going to scroll to the top and I'm going to choose a label. Okay, so I'm going to drag my label on top of my row 1, and you can see my label has gone into the middle of my row. And you know it's inside the row 1 because label 1 now is underneath row 1. Okay, now I'm going to change the text inside my label. So I need to make sure I'm clicked on my label here, and there's my text. You can see it says label here, and there is my text. I'm going to type in here joke me app. Okay, so when I click away, it changes the name to Joke Me App. Now you can make a number of changes here. I can change my font size. I'm going to change that from 18. Let's try 50. That's not too bad. That's about the width of the screen. Maybe a little bit smaller. I'll go down to 40. That's not too bad. I can now also change the font color by clicking here. Let's go for a blue. Does it make it easy to see? Grey, green. I mean, it's entirely up to you. Just need to make it so it stands out. And also, you could change the background color of this area here, which is just here. Maybe I could make that into a yellow. Okay, I can also change, you've got margins of the areas around here, so you can see my J and my P are close to the edge, so my left and right margin, I might increase those by 3 pixels and 3 pixels, and that will change the margin around here. No, sorry, it's padding I need to change. Let's try that. Let's try 5 pixels. That's better. Can you see when I add 5, it adds a little bit of padding around my text, so that's 5 pixels here. Okay, so that's added my title for my Joke Me app. I could even change font weight. I could change that, make that a little bit bolder. There you go. So there's my title. It stands out a lot better now. Okay, so on my row 2, I'm going to add my 2 buttons. So I'm going to have a button for the joke and a button to the answer to the joke. So buttons are here. So I'm going to click and drag and drop my first button into my row 2. Can you see now? My row 2 is here and my button is underneath. Okay, next I'm going to add another button. I'm going to drag that. And no, actually, before I do that, my button 1, I'm going to change the text. I'm going to call that Joke 1. Okay. Now, I've changed the text, but I also want to change the name of the button. Okay, so can you see you've got a pen here? I want to rename it. So button 1, I'm going to call that button 1 Joke 1. Okay. And basically that is when you code it, you'll know exactly what button you are coding because I've called it button 1 Joke 1. Okay, so now I'm going to add another button. So I'm going to drag my second button inside my row, and it's after my Joke 1, but it hasn't gone there. So what I can do is here, I can drag my button below my Joke 1. Can you see now it's swapped it over. So button text, I'm going to change that to answer 1, or yeah, I can call that answer 1 if I want. Then again, it's called button 1 at the moment, the button, so I'm going to rename it, and I'm going to call it button 1 answer 1. Okay, can you see that now? So I've got joke 1, and that's called button 1 joke 1, and my answer 1 is called button 1 answer 1. Now actually I'll change that to button 2 because that's my second button, so I need to click on rename. So there you go. So I've got my first button, second button, and one's got joke 1 written on it, and one's got, oh, answer, I've spelt that wrong, answer 1. Okay, so it's really important that you name these buttons, obviously the actual text on the button, and also the name of the button. For when you become to code it, you will know exactly which button you're talking about. So at the moment, I'm going to stop the tutorial now. So what we've done, we've added 2 rows, 1 and 2. We've changed the color of the background. We've added 2 buttons, gave them a text title, and renamed them, which is very, very important, ready for our app to be programmed. Okay, so I'll see you in the next tutorial. If you want, you can carry on and add more rows, and inside those rows add more buttons for your different jokes. But at the moment, I'll leave it with mine. I might do some more ready for the next tutorial, but I'll see you then, and take care and see you soon.